ones. So, Mad, what do you think in prehistory? We came from the stars?
Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe we're a migrated race here. We have evolved to be part of this planet, but we didn't originate here.
Is it just a gut feeling no matter what you've read? Is it just because it's in my soul? I just know. I don't know if other people just know, but do you just know?
Well, I mean, if we're the only animal on this planet that has to clothe themselves. We're the only animal that will really burn up because of the sunshine. We lose our eyesight because of the sunshine. We spend, as a species, we spend 70% of our time indoors out of the sun. You know, and our structure is actually designed for a weaker type of gravity. That's why most humans have bad backs and, stuff like that. We're just not in tune to this earth as much as we ought to be if we came from here.
Well, you think that mostly they had paleontological, is that the right way, I guess, paleontological excavation? Paleolithic societies organizing Paleolithic life. I wonder if it says it's based on the Neanderthals had a different mutation than modern Homo sapiens. I wonder how they figure that just from what they study in archaeology and anthropology. You think? Why they think
well,
we
it's also the
mutated
genes. I mean, quite a few. I mean, it's like 1% to 2% of Neanderthal genes is found in our genes. That just means that we interbred with that particular species at the time.
Well,
I didn't say we weren't, didn't interbreed with what was already here.
Well,
but,
I guess if you get in the way,
that's how we became part of this. This ecology is by interbreeding with what was already here.
So I guess the right answer is we really don't know unless we were there, because our culture breeded ourself, our consciousness, and our language acquisition. Our children growing up with self-awareness, they call it the mirror test. I guess they have kids learn about themselves where dogs, cats don't. The mirror test and cognitive psychology. Now, overall, the evolution of language is still a hot topic and debate among scholars, but we don't even know where we came from. So, and people will argue with you over what they believe is their truth. And we get into that a lot through the last 7 years on this show with our ACO Club, our Ascension Center organization, and our ACO Association. And people stand up for what they believe in. So if Pangea existed millions of years ago, we go by the land breaking up and the plates. And I believe that is, I don't say I think and I know, but sometimes we feel in our heart what is real. So many of us believe we had ancient past life memories. And MU, and the Pangea time when it split up and broke up, and some people called it Lemuria, and I think that came from James Churchwood or either I don't know if it's proper or not to talk about anybody that's dangerous, dropping names. But whether we came from the rain or meteorites or just fell out of the sky, some people believe we came from meteorites. That's getting a lot of attention lately, like germs, infections, that we just came here. But still, that would still be seeded from another place in space. I wonder.
That's called panspermia.
Panspermia?
Yeah.
Or panspermia, Pam. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, I pronounce it wrong.
Is it panspermia or Pam? Panspermia.
Pam, I think.
Panspermia. We should know, but I haven't talked about that in years. Although panspermia, P-A-N-S, sperm, S-P-E-R-M-I-A. Now that's a hypothesis, folks. Now, whether we live this life throughout the universe is distributed by space dust, meteoroids, which I just said, asteroids, comets, planetoids, or spacecraft carry unintended contamination we've examined, but microorganisms on our spacecraft up there when NASA returns our space. So panspermia is the theory that life on the Earth originated from microorganisms, are chemical precursors of life present in outer space and able to initiate life on reaching a suitable environment. Wow. There's a hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe distributed by dust. Well, you were right. Panspermia theory.
Well, what you got to remember is every one of them are a theory. We don't have no proof of any of it, including evolution.
Well, yeah, we weren't there. So you have to have something inside your gut speaking to you, or something that creates the language or the thoughts that. Let's see what abiogenesis is. And let me look at panspermia versus abiogenesis. Now, the criticism of abiogenesis, what is the origin of life? What's the experiments carried out by Stan Miller and others who have built upon his work? I don't even know what that is. So let me look at abiogenesis is formally the origin of life is the natural process by which life has arisen from the alternative panspermia hypothesis. Speculates that microscopic life across outside Earth by unknown mechanisms spread early. Did you get that, Ahmed? A-B-I-O. So it's a biogenesis, like in the Bible. A biogenesis.
Yeah, that means that means we evolved from a tidal cesspool of mixing chemicals together randomly.
Self-replication outside the Earth, and panspermia still outside, and directed panspermia in science. Abiogenesis and directed panspermia, is there an extraterrestrial alternative? We think so. Why do some people reject panspermia on the Journal of Cosmology? Now, scatter plot of degree. Now, you write science fiction, Ahmed, based on thoughts because you can't really prove anything, right? So we call it science fiction. Where do your people come from? We know it in your mind, so don't say that. But do you have a certain way to classify these beings that you're creating in your stories? Because it's out somewhere in the cosmos. I get that. You're a protagonist, right?
I assume that the universe is so vast, regardless of what you think, it's probably out there somewhere.
Well, they said panspermia began to assume scientific form through proposals of Jean-Jacob Berzelius in 1834. So I guess that's when we started using the word. Hermann Richter, 1865, Kelvin, 1871. So in the 1800s, I guess we started reaching a level of detailed scientific hypothesis. It says it was through the efforts of a Swedish chemist, Svante Arrhenius, in 1903. Now, theory and meaning and concepts of cosmozoic theory. Have you heard of that one?
I don't know it right offhand, but I've probably read about it.
Okay. Well, that's spore broth theory. The spore broth. The theory was proposed by Richter. Let's read this one. Uploaded by, download. Cosmozoic theory of panspermia given by Richter. The cosmozoic theory proposed that life on Earth did not actually originate on this planet, though there are several other theories on how life actually did arrive. According to the theory, protoplasm reached the Earth in the form of spores or germs or simply particles, some known as the part of the universe with the cosmic dust, and subsequently evolved into various forms of life. So Helmholtz in 1884 speculated that protoplasm in some form reached Earth from falling meteorites. So there's evidence against cosmozoic theory, which is : the two dots. Living matter cannot survive survive extreme cold, dryness, and ultraviolet radiation from the sun. So it's required to be crossed from reaching the Earth. So the theory of special creation is the theory of Earth living organisms were created by special single entity, most commonly known as God. Now that's what most of us, at least I think the majority, believe that many religions believe that the living organisms were created in their present-day form, ultimately claiming that living beings have an inability to evolve or adapt. That's in the Dictionary of Biology, Oxford University Press. But a specific example of a special creation theory is the religion of Christianity, the religion in the world's most common followed of all the religions, 2.1 billion adherents. Based on the book of Genesis, and the basis of this religion states that the earth was a void of darkness, and that God, over a period of 6 days, now we're not saying how long a day is to God, so use your imagination, created night and day, and then split that into water and land, and then vegetation, and the sun and the moon, and living creatures. And that's from the Vatican, www.vatican.va, V-A-T-I-C-A-N. So faith is really a foundation of a theory. So I've never thought of that before, but faith is what gets me through my hard times. But there's no scientific proof that faith exists other than saying that it's a theory that cannot be proven or disproved. Therefore, it remains in a deadlock, so it continues to be a valid concept. We can't prove it or disprove it. Ahmed, that's about right, isn't it? Because faith is the foundation of theory. It's a valid concept. Now, that comes from The Origins of Life, 2004, by Pearson. So scientists came to a conclusion that the first forms of life were just simple organisms, for example, cells. So this contradicts the theory of special creation, as it clearly states at the book of Genesis that every creature was created in its existing form and opposed to the development from cells. Now, I never thought like that before, but that makes sense. That's complex life forms, and that's from Kennedy, Busan, and Hickman in 2009. But if you're unfamiliar with the religion of Christianity, then you may want to unlock the basis of study. And most people don't like to read anymore. We watch videos, and it's going more that way. So we have magazines and audiobooks and books, and Ahmad and I are working on that. And I wonder, Ahmad, does you see if on Skype if he's back yet?
No, he's still showing away on Skype.
Hi, are you there? 742. Oh man, folks, I apologize. I know if this guy could be here, he would. I think he's on that plane. I think that whoever wrote up he told me he'd be the 21st. We planned this, God, 3 months ago. Let me see. But we've been in talking, so the only thing is Monday, but he had something to do. So let's do it August 21st, 7 p.m. Now let me go back and look before that. Doctor, he says, well, I'm in
Have
Bosnia.
you looked up on Facebook at all?
Can we pre-record? He wanted to know if he could Skype on April 8th. Yeah, we could have pre-recorded it, but he was asking me that back in April. I guess I should have pre-recorded it. But you saw, I read out what he was doing. He's very, very busy. Oh, goodness. Well, folks, what I'll do is hopefully he'll call me from Houston once he gets off the plane. And tomorrow we've got to do. Thursday is we're interviewing Ken Johnston over the Alien Expo that we promoted and our Allied Command Org. And Friday is our UFO Association. So, and then we've got John. I wonder if John could come on. Let me see. Where's John? John Shaughnessy did you say go to Facebook? Well, if he's...
I was just wondering if you checked Facebook. I mean, I hadn't been up there at all today.
Okay, hold on. I'll check Facebook. Can you hear me? Because